Now, the more activist person in me supports a potential boycott of Israel for the same reasons that I supported the boycott of South Africa, and that is that sports sanctions on Israel can boost the larger Palestinian quest for freedom, for equality, and for justice. By putting the spotlight on Israeli athletes, we can increase global awareness about the war on Gaza and its effects, and also deny Israel the opportunity to use sports for self-glorification. And in doing that, I think what we're doing is staying true to the principles of sports and the essence of sports, that they must be fair, that they must be democratic, and they must be accessible to all. And right now, Palestinians, of course, are being denied all of those things in sport and, of course, outside of the playing fields.
I think there's a very strong argument to be made for excluding Israel. It'll be a difficult process to execute because even now the sort of the richer nations play games together. Like Israel today, international acceptance was hugely important to South Africa, and so the Olympics is about the community of nations, and so the feeling of being expelled from that community was not a nice feeling at all for them. That South Africa kept trying to present itself as a normal nation and also as a bastion of civilization against barbarism, you know. So, you know, I do see a lot of analogies with today's situation. I think that we have a very procedural, cautious body called the International Court of Justice, who says this is a plausible genocide. I think even a movement, even if it's unsuccessful, mobilizing people around the idea of other ways of excluding Israel from normal international events and communities is worth it, because it's a constant reminder. The more that Israel feels, people are watching and they're judging and they're saying this is unacceptable and there should be consequence.
Yes, I think there are aspects, there are certainly similarities between Israel and South Africa. I argue for what I call convergent evolution. That is to say, Israel founded in 1948, apartheid beginning in its formal sense in 1948. Few people in 1948, either in Israel or in South Africa or in the international community, recognized that the apartheid South Africa had any connection with Israel. After 67, after the war, and particularly after 1973, people started making those links. And indeed, South Africa and Israel, both seen as increasingly as pariah states from, say, the perspective of the United Nations, certainly began, like pariah states, to cooperate, not least in the military sphere. I would say, if you ask me whether sports boycotts are effective, I would say they are effective, or they can be effective, but only in combination with all sorts of political processes, tend to be political processes within the country as well as outside of the country.